አዲስ ቅኝት መቀመጫውን ቶሮንቶ ካናዳ ያደረገ የሚዲያ አገልግሎት ነው። ዝግጅቶቻችንን በአዲስ ቅኝት ዌብሳይት www.artisperspective.com እና በአዲስ ቅኝት ዩቲዩብ ቻናል እንዲሁም ዘወትር እሁድ ከ4 እስከ 6 ፒኤም በአይሃርት ሬዲዮ በቀጥታ የሬዲዮ ስርጭት መሰናዷችንን እንድትከታተሉ እንጋብዛለን። አዲስ ቅኝት የሚዲያ አገልግሎት Hello everyone. Today we have a very passionate musician and guitar player in our art and entertainment conversation.
Roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man.
Who is this passionate guest of ours? Gazish?
Yes, his name is Donné Roberts. Originally he's from Africa, from Madagascar, and now he lives in Toronto. Donné Roberts is, as you said, he's a very passionate musician, guitar player, songwriter, singer, and composer. Don came to the wider recognition after he released his albums Rhyme Was Born and Internation, and for his contribution as one of the members of the African Guitar Summit project, which won a JUNO in 2005 and was nominated for another JUNO Award in 2007 as members of the Okavango The African Orchestra that won a JUNO Award in 2017. So we have a very interesting conversation with Donné Roberts.
Enjoy the conversation and stay with us. አዲስ ቅኝት መቀመጫውን ቶሮንቶ ካናዳ ያደረገ የሚዲያ አገልግሎት ነው። ዝግጅቶቻችንን በአዲስ ቅኝት ዌብሳይት www.artisperspective.com እና በአዲስ ቅኝት ዩቲዩብ ቻናል እንዲሁም ዘወትር እሁድ ከ4 እስከ 6 ፒኤም በአይሃርት ሬዲዮ በቀጥታ የሬዲዮ ስርጭት መሰናዷችንን እንድትከታተሉ እንጋብዛለን። አዲስ ቅኝት የሚዲያ አገልግሎት
Welcome to the New Perspective special conversation. We are very proud of you, Donny, to have you as an artist. You are our entertainer. We live in the same neighborhood. You live on Roncesvalles. And today we will talk about your artistic journey, and you will play us some music, and we will celebrate Africans and Black culture, and we talk more. So welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor for me to be on your show. I've been wanting to come to your show for a long time. I think every time we see each other, even before the COVID, right?
Yes.
But been always busy and stuff. So finally we made it, which I'm really happy that we made it, and this special Black History Month especially, it's all a big deal for all of us, So definitely I'm honored to be at your radio show. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Donny. And let's start with your background, African background, and we will. Before that, would you play us something to start up and to make the air very hot? And if you,
sure, I could definitely do that. I have acoustic though.
That's lovely.
Huh?
That's great. Yeah, I love acoustic.
Okay. Muna makwatizai Mifana takuzai Nara maritani mafi Nara faliani ku Ati malembo Mafansa tani yeta mpuku Zaukusa Manawiza rehetiza Mahamalifane na Arubisa edande mantani fitavana Tufiraniza embati utafituina Sotana wiza edande mantani fitavana Isotana wiza usi malembo My friend Malembo, my friend Malembo Tomodachi sa, my friend Malembo Tomodachi da yo, my friend Malembo Oh, Bokulo, my friend Malembo My friend Malembo
Thank you very much for starting it with a beautiful song, my friend Malembo. Who is Malembo, by the way? How do you write this song, and why you choose it for this special opening?
Well, this song is Malembo. It's I made up that name.
Yeah.
It's name for women.
Oh.
That's the main message on this song. Is
It's a love song.
Yes, it's a love song. It's more a love respect song.
Respect, yeah.
For women as a sister.
Yeah.
It started from as a sister, right?
Yes.
As I'm I came from a big family. We were 7 kids in the family. I'm the youngest, and my sister was the oldest. So we are 7 kids.
Yeah.
My sister, she was the only one. She passed away last 2 years.
Sorry.
Oh, thank you. And she was the only one woman in the family, right? She's the only one sister. All the rest 6 guys.
Oh my God.
So my sister, the oldest, had to take care of all of us 6 guys. You can't imagine.
I can imagine. Yeah.
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 And I saw it. Huh?
She is loved by all of you. You know, she is a special, member of the household. I
Absolutely, yeah. But definitely, when we grew up,
yeah.
it was tough for her. Definitely, you can't imagine.
Where exactly was you were born? And Africa is a big continent. In America, some people consider Africa as a country, but Africa is 53 countries, even 54, I think, right now. So which country was your?
I was born in Madagascar.
Madagascar, which is the island, in the south.
Island.
Yes. It's a beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So I was born in Madagascar, and I lived there. My parents said we all were born in Madagascar, but then we moved to Russia when I was 7 years old, and I was really a little boy.
You moved to Russia, which family. Is in the 1960s or something 70s.
In the 70s.
In the 70s. So what was the reason for you to move to Russia?
My dad was working for the Madagascar embassy.
Oh, okay. In Moscow.
Yes, in Moscow.
Yeah.
Representing Malagasy embassy in Moscow. So
yeah,
that's how the whole family moved to Russia.
Interesting.
And of course, for us. It was an eye-opening thing. We live in a small village in Madagascar, and then we lived at some point in a bigger city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By then, Madagascar and Malagasy were the same country in the same nation, or different?
It's the same. So I would say Madagascar is the name that was given to Madagascar. By whoever discovered the island.
Yeah.
which is I think he was a Portuguese person.
Yeah, that's
If I'm mistaken.
Vasco da Gama, or that's
Need to do double check,
yeah.
but I think he was a Portuguese person, and they came up with that name Madagascar.
Mm.
But the people and the language is Malagasy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of and the Malagasy people, it's a mix of people from Indonesia
Mhm.
and Africa,
Mm.
and some actually some from Ethiopia as well. Some I've heard that Oromo people
Yeah.
somehow related to Madagascar people. I don't know how much, but I don't know too much about it as well. So, but all that is like back in the long time ago, and some people from Yemen and Pakistani and China, and but I'm talking about 100 years ago.
I know. I mean, is there a language group in Madagascar today? In today's Madagascar, different language, just one language.
Just one language.
What do you
Malagasy
call it?
language.
Yeah, Malagasy. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of dialects. I think something like 22 dialects or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all based on one language, Malagasy.
Interesting. So you moved to Russia and you grew up in Moscow?
Yes, I did.
So you speak Russian?
I do, yeah.
Interesting. How do you say, how are you in Russian?
Как дела?
Как дела? Interesting. So you grow up and you learn your music in Moscow, or you from, what's the story of your music?
Of course, in Moscow. I learned guitar in Moscow.
Okay.
But again, I think that, one of the thing is I learn all this, all the African music I play is from Moscow. I'll explain why.
Please explain me. I heard that in the 1970s, different students from different parts of Africa.
Oh yeah, many
went to Moscow, and I think a lot happened.
So what happened? I will start from home.
Yes.
At my home, like all the family, right? So
Yeah.
Papa, Mama, brothers, sister, everybody. At home, we live like Malagasy family, right?
Yeah.
Like at Malagasy home. And I'm really grateful, of course, for my parents for being so great. Everybody does appreciate their parents, but I do appreciate more for the reason that we kept the Malagasy culture. So at home, it's everything is in Malagasy, right? We eat like Malagasy, like back home. Even the music. I listened to, I don't know, maybe 3 years. I think maybe 3 or 4 years after arriving in Russia. Yeah, I think something like that. We would only listen to Malagasy music at home.
Who was the
Only.
famous Malagasy musician by that time, by then?
Oh, at that time, there was Dedessa, there was Jean Freddy, there was Nanari, there was Mahaleu, Henri Ratsimbazafi,
Interesting.
many. And so I know them very well because we listened to them only. We kind of ignored any
rest.
other music at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, and then one brother, actually, who's, we're 6 guys. So there's always one who would like to go out and hang out with the other guys out there and stuff like that, right? But there were like main of us, like 3 of us who would like to hang out always together.
Yeah.
1 bigger brother and 2 smaller, and he is kind of leading us, and we form a little band and stuff like that. So that's how I learned the Malagasy music, right? And we went really deep because we would listen to all kinds of Malagasy music. We tried to keep it up with whatever comes out in Madagascar,
Yeah.
he would have it at home as well.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and I think that also being outside of Madagascar helped me to learn more Malagasy music than the kids who grew up in Madagascar.
Yeah.
Because the kids who grow up in Madagascar, my age, or like to play guitar, they would listen to, everything from outside, from the U.S. mostly, like
Yes,
Jimi
yes.
Hendrix and those kind of things. That's what they, it wasn't cool
Yeah.
for them out there to listen to the local
Yeah.
music at that age, right? When you're like, they
Yeah.
want to be cool, and they all want to look like Americans, black Americans. They all want to play like them. They all want to be like them, just copying those. So at that point, I think that they lost interest in the
The local culture.
Malagasy,
in
the local
Malagasy
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's go here, you go there, you go to. It's all So that's the musician thing. So I think that, but for me, the fact that I grew up outside of Madagascar, then I actually had a special interest. I had more interest in the Malagasy music.
And how about the atmosphere in Moscow by that time? To play Madagasy music. Some exotic music. Was it conducive? Was it helpful to grow your?
Oh yeah, of course. It's the first band I joined was of course it's a family band,
Mhm.
and we played mostly at the embassy and stuff like that. But when I was a teenager, because there's tons of students there from Africa, from South America, from India, like many, 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 many. Like I would say millions, I think so.
Yeah.
Like many from Ethiopia.
Yeah. You have friends from Ethiopia by then.
Yeah. I met. I used to live in a student dorm when I was a student at the university,
Mhm.
and and I've known Ethiopian since then.
Interesting.
Since and I always had a good a good relationship with.
It's a kind of
everybody.
Pan-African kind of gathering. By then you remember most of African countries were free from colony, and even in Africa, different music groups were flourishing everywhere in Addis, in Nairobi, in West Africa. I think by then, I think who was leading West African musician by then? Salif Keita and all Lusundur and all of the West African players.
Those guys.
Did you get the chance to listen other African musics then?
Oh yes, yeah, of course. I listened to all kinds of like I said, everything that was popular in Africa.
Yeah.
We would listen to it. We listened to like Sweet Mother, for example. I don't know if you remember that song.
Sweet
Mother. Oh.
I think I remember, yeah.
Sweet Mother. Na 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 na. Something like that.
Yeah.
Sweet Mother, yeah, and a lot of other songs. Samangwana, for example, Congolese.
Yeah.
Zainaba, ta ta ta, banana. Some Congolese, love, drop, et l'argent. Congo, moena, bongo, something like that.
Like the leading music, Harambe. You remember that Harambe from? I think it's from Bay. Yeah, it's Kenya.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't remember, but I remember I remember Malaika and all this.
Malaika and I think South Africa by then who was Maria Makeba, and
Remakeba, yeah. What's his name? Hugh Masekela.
Yuma Sakela. Yeah. So
No.
all these musicians were moving the African culture all over the world. So how do you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
How do you become a full-time guitar player and musician? So how was your professional life begins?
አዲስ ቅኝት መቀመጫውን ቶሮንቶ ካናዳ ያደረገ የሚዲያ አገልግሎት ነው። ዝግጅቶቻችንን በአዲስ ቅኝት ዌብሳይት www.addisperspective.com እና በአዲስ ቅኝት ዩቲዩብ ቻናል እንዲሁም ዘወትር እሁድ ከ4 እስከ 6 ፒኤም በአይሃርት ሬዲዮ በቀጥታ የሬዲዮ ስርጭት መሰናዷችንን እንድትከታተሉ እንጋብዛለን። አዲስ ቅኝት የሚዲያ አገልግሎት You are listening a conversation with Donné Roberts, a guitar player, songwriter, and singer. Please stay with us at Addis ቅኝት Media.
Well, I started, from the family band at home, and then I started a little bit here and there, and then in Moscow, for example, there was 3 major African bands. There was Congolese band, there was Nigerian, and there was a Ghanaian band. I was playing with the Nigerian band. That's when I started playing, like professionally playing weddings and stuff like that, and Nigerian. That's where, and then, but my brother, he's a drummer, and he played with all of them. With the Congolese, he played with the Ghanaians, he played with the Nigerian.
Yeah.
And actually, he is the one who inspired me a lot because he would take a picture,
Yeah.
and he would bring it home and you'll look at it. It was like, wow. And they had, and I lived next to a big university of Patrice Lumumba University.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Patrice Lumumba from the
Congo.
So
Yes.
the university was named after him in Moscow by then.
Yes, because at that time, during those times, he was I don't know if he was a communist or not, but he was assassinated, yeah. And because of his political view, right? And at that time, the Soviet Union, of course, they support those people who being oppressed and stuff like that, and by the capitalist, force. So there was a big university, Patrice Lumumba. There's tons of faculty, many foreigners, and every year on May 1st, I remember they block the whole street. It's a big street. They block the street and they have festival, and every country dress up like their culture, clothing, and they do music and stuff like that. And from everywhere, from India, South America, many countries, from Africa, and so that's how I see that every year, every time, so then I start playing with those guys like Nigerian Tropicans band, and then after that I played with but again the Nigerian Tropicans band I play with, there are many people. They're from Burundi, they're from Kenya, the guys from Madagascar, there's a guy from where? From Nigeria actually too. So
talking about Nigeria, I think during that time, Fela Kuti was the guy in Nigerian music, I think.
That's true, yeah, Fela Kuti.
Yeah, Fela Kuti. Do you remember him? He was coming to Moscow, or
no,
did you get a chance? No.
I don't think so. But at that point, I was young. I was kid, right?
Yes.
So I listened to more Fela Kuti when I become adult, right? And I try that kind of music and
rebel music, yeah.
Oh yeah, Fela Kuti is It's a rebel music. His message is very strong, and his music itself, it's amazing, the production. The other day I was sitting at the restaurant to somebody who has no idea about Fela music, Fela Kuti, and we're sitting and listening to music, and she's like, "Wow, that sounds kind of good, actually." It's because it's like these days they call it, like, I don't know, trip hop or something like that, or some. And I listen to it, I say, "No, but that's from the '70s or something like that." Yeah, I think that's from the '70s. That's Fela Kuti. That was recorded in the '70s. So you can imagine that was recorded. But when you listen to it now, it still sounds like there's no difference from the music that people record now. Even I like it more than many, new stuff. But but I think that they did a great job back then, as they do now. I'm listening to a lot of young African artists, they're doing a great job too.
Interesting, and we'll come to that after. But how do you come to Canada, and how your musical life starts in Canada after you grow up in Moscow?
I came to Canada, to follow music, and I moved to Canada in 1999. And it didn't work out right away, because I didn't have millions of dollars and stuff. Like, I couldn't like come and buy a house and just leave no, no, no. I had to start from from the bottom, and you have to go through, looking for a job and stuff like that. And but then everything worked out well, and yeah, I was lucky, That's the thing. I always just strongly believe, that God is big and He knows your way, and if you just listen and follow, you'll be there. You'll make it. And that's exactly what happened. It's just I was working. My first job was at Harbourfront Center.
Wow. So
Yeah.
with a band or on your own?
No, as a cleaner, as a dishwasher.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me then. So, but it was the right place for a music
know.
to start.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I had no idea because I started working there. I think it was November.
Okay.
I remember it was in November when I started working, so I had no idea because usually there's nothing happening in the winter, right?
Yeah.
Some theater, some stuff, some kids, and campings and stuff like that. And but I was working at the restaurant and was doing my dishwashing stuff, and that was it. And then, but I was talking to people all the time, and I talked to different people, and then in the summer, then I start seeing that there's something happening. Actually, the big concert outside, right? And all the festivals that went in Harbourfront. I was like, wow, it's actually not a bad place. And after working there for a couple of years, or I think I worked there for about maybe 3 or 4 years, then I met somebody who would introduce me to somebody, that kind of thing. And finally, I came out and I met my friend Madagascar Slim from Madagascar.
Yeah.
And at that point, he was on his, on the pick. He was touring and stuff like that, and he was looking for another guitar player who can play Malagasy music, right? Then I said, "Sure, I'm here. Let's give it a try."
You are already trained yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
it was funny, because he was like, okay, you said you're a guitar player. I said, yeah, I play guitar. And well, for some reason, we kind of learned. We went through almost the same guitar masters. We almost listened to the same guitar masters, Madagascar or outside of Madagascar. That's so. So that was the conversation. We just met and like, okay, let's just meet up. The first meeting, where? And we decided, let's go at Long and McQuaid, And I say, okay, sure, where? Maybe guitar section? We say, sure. So that's the first meeting, guitar section at Long and McQuaid.
On Blur.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Izany angamba no atao hoe diso lalana ve betsaka reo zavatra heverina mitsotra kely ka mora verina mety diso ve izany aleo miomana ihany misy fo lalana mazava sy mahitsy tondra soa mazava sy mahitsy tondra soa mitrakayanao matikia si minu anduvau tundra sua sehenu fasambarana misfona ni fana te na 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 mitakaya now matikia si minu anduvau tundra sua sehenu fasambarana misfona ni fana te na 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 na.
And we went there and we said, okay, well, so here are guitarists, like there are hundreds of guitarists there, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. So he just like, okay, let's try something. I just say, sure, whatever you play me something. He said, no, you play, I'll follow you, whatever. And that's how it happened. He played, and 2 minutes, I just joined him. I said, sure. And he was like, okay, wow, okay, you're hired. You say, wow, okay, thank you, for hiring me. That's great. And then the next week or so, he was like, hey, man, are you available? And like, I don't know, I think it was something like January, February or something like that. Next year, I was like, anytime. He says, I have a tour. Wow. Do you want to come? I say, sure, I'll come. Without knowing anything, I was like, I just go. I'll go and whatever.
Interesting.
And, yeah.
Was the tour in Canada or outside?
Yeah, it was in Canada. It was up north. He was like something like, like Banff, Whitehorse, some other cities, Calgary, Edmonton, Regina, something like that, and Winnipeg. We did a little tour like that, and then And after that, then that kind of led to another project, and then I started having my own album as well. And I started recording my album, and then that leads to another thing again. And then finally we ended up doing the project African Guitar Summit.
Oh, tell me about that. That was the first concert or summit which leads you to the JUNO Award.
Yes, that's exactly. So the African Guitar Summit, that was produced by Todd Faraci. Todd Faraci, he was a music producer at the CBC Records. Back then there was a CBC Records, who was, I think they were representing Universal Music in Canada. It's a CBC Records. So, and he was working there. He was a producer there. And Todd Faraci is an amazing, just a human being, and definitely has a lot of experience as a producer, as a music producer, and so he was interested. So he knew every single of us, so us. So I mean by us, we'll start, I guess, to introduce those friends of mine. All my, very respectful to those people, and the great musicians from Africa, but live in Canada, and live in Canada, I guess I would be correct. This is, I start with Madagascar. Slim is from, obviously, Madagascar.
Yeah.
Then Alpha Yaya Diallo from Guinea, Guinea Conakry, an amazing guitar player, an amazing composer, and a singer.
I think I saw him the year before, 2018, on Harbourfront, or before that.
Possibly, yeah. He's been touring everywhere. Yeah. Then Mighty Popo, another a great musician, songwriter, and a guitar player from Rwanda, Burundi, but he lived in Ottawa. And then Adam Salaman from Kenya, amazing guitar player, an amazing songwriter, and a very, very good guitar player. Very nice person too. Adam Salaman, and then Pajo. Pajo is from Ghana. Adam Salaman from Kenya. Sorry.
Yeah. Adam Salaman from Kenya.
From Kenya. Then Pajo. Pajo is another amazing guitar player. I'm saying all this amazing. They're really amazing. Pajo from Ghana. And Pajo from Ghana is a guitar player too. So, and then they were a rhythm section. It was Kofi Aka. From Ghana. And also there was Theo Boache. Is a singer, very good singer, beautiful voice, and Theo Boache from Kenya, and great people. All of them, it's really nice people. And Kofi too is a great drummer, though.
So and, this band, is it? What's the name of that band?
That was, and there's one more though. Before I forget, Nabi Kamara. Nabi Kamara from Guinea. He was playing percussion as well and played balafon. And then we invited other people like Ebenezer Ujikum from Ghana, amazing guitar player, bass player. So anyway, African Guitar Summit. That's the name of the band, of the band project. And we won JUNO one time with that band. We were nominated the second time
as a band.
Yeah, as the whole band, African Guitar Summit. There was African Guitar Summit 1,
Yeah.
and there's African Guitar Summit 2.
So you win two times.
Yes, but I went after that. After that, there was another project. Let me just show you this is the African Guitar Summit 1.
Oh, yes.
I won JUNO with this one.
Yeah. When was that? The first African Summit?
This was in 2005.
2005. Okay.
2005, yeah. 2004. 2004.
Yeah.
This one. And we won the JUNO in 2005, right?
5. Then you get on your own.
Yes. And then I got on my own. So at about the same time, I produced and recorded this album. That's my first album, Rhythm Was Born.
Oh, Rhythm Was Born. Okay, Donné Roberts. Okay, that is after in 2008 or
no, this is 2005.
2005. Okay, so you won your first JUNO with this album?
No. I won with the African Guitar Summit.
Oh, with the Summit.
The one, just to show you. This is the second album of African Guitar Summit.
Yes.
So this one was nominated Internation.
Internation. Oh, International.
Yeah. So it's there's 14 languages in this album here. It was released 2012.
Each song with a different language?
Mostly. Well, actually, there was one song
Yes.
where I have, I think, maybe 9 languages.
Okay.
Just in one song. But the other songs are in different languages, yeah, for sure. I sing some songs in Malagasy, in Japanese. I have 2 songs in Japanese. In English, there's 1 song in English here. And, yeah.
How do you come up with this idea? You speak all those languages or just a few of them?
No, I don't speak those languages.
But you speak, I think, some of them.
I speak Russian, French, English, and Malagasy.
It's a lot. So you include all these languages in the album?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Interesting.
You are listening a conversation with Donné Roberts, a guitar player, songwriter, and singer. Please stay with us at Disconnect Media.
So what is it like to grow up in a diverse culture, in a diverse language, and with so many cultures? Is it helpful for creativity, for music, for art?
It is. I think so. I can say only. I can only be grateful that I had that possibility. That I was lucky enough to be out there. It definitely, and the other thing too, I was doing music since I was a child, right? Since I was 9 years old, I started playing guitar when I was 9 years old. So
who teach you the first how to play guitar in at home?
a friend of the family, because like I said, I have 6 brothers and 1 sister, and everybody has their own guitar.
Wow! So it's a musical family. It's a family business.
It is, yeah.
Wow.
But they didn't make it to business side, but to the business level of it. But we had this, and the thing is, when we lived in Madagascar, we were like regular people, right? And we couldn't afford actually the many guitars, right? We didn't even have a guitar at home when we were in Madagascar. We would have some cousins and somebody's guitar that we borrow sometimes, and mostly my eldest brother, but at that time I think he was like his teenager, right? So he would hang out with the cousins and they would play and sing, and we were small. just watching and enjoying and stuff. But so I didn't really know who is who, and music wasn't a big deal. I was probably too little too, right?
Yeah.
But when we came to Russia, I would say, I guess the life become better, and we could afford and stuff like that, and my parents, they were able to afford to buy
Each of you a
everyone
guitar.
Yes.
That's
Except
great.
me, I didn't have a guitar then yet.
Because you were young.
I was the youngest, so I didn't play, and I was just watching them play. And that gives me a lot of envy, like, oh, I want to play too, I want to play too, kind of thing, right? So,
In Madagascar, do you have a special guitar playing? Is there a special playing technique or
there is
rhythm?
yes, there is definitely. Overall, Madagascar is a very string country, Okay. Yeah, so I can show you a few of them.
Oh, please. And is there any influence from the European music or from somewhere else, from Asia?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There's a lot of influence from. Depends on the music, though. I think most of the influences from Africa, and from Polynesia, like Indonesia, or not even Indonesia, probably like Polynesia, like Hawaii, those kind of area. Yeah, a lot of it from there, like melodical things, for example, tons, and from Africa as well.
Yeah.
So
basically, in Africa, you can show me some of the rhythms, the difference, maybe.
yeah, for example, from the middle, the region of the middle side of Madagascar, from the capital and around it, the capital, kind of, they can have this kind of style. Something like this. Something like that. Or from the from the middle part, but towards the coast, for example, the style there is called basesa. So the one I just played, it's like a kind of bagasi. It's a little bit, could go a little bit more and more complicated than that. That one is supposed to have a vocal, so the guitar parts was kind of easy, just backing up the vocal. The same on the middle section of Madagascar, middle parts of Madagascar, but just towards the coast, the east coast, for example, it's called basesa. So people there from like Bitsamsaraka, different. So. Something like that.
Yeah.
From the north part of Madagascar, it's more like a. Something like that. The other one is more like, just Sakarivoro de sakamalawe, arriva sam sakamnawe, veluma paro e luma fatita manawe. Sakarivoro de sakamalawe, arriva sam sakamnawe, veluma paro e luma fatita manawe. Something like that.
Interesting. So which one you mostly, use in your music? I heard some Western touch, West African touch in your guitar playing when you play.
Yeah. Some of them I tried to, I would say, along the way, I guess I kind of formed my own kind of approach to it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, all this influence playing at the very beginning when I was playing with this Nigerian band. I play with Congolese band after that too. And I play with people from like Cote d'Ivoire and from Benin, from Cameroon, and all that. And at some point I play with just Congolese band. They're all Congolese except for me and there was another guy. So that kind of thing. So I think all that kind of forced me to be a little. But the Malagasy thing, of course, it's always there, and I sing the language in Malagasy. So I don't know. It's I try to mix it up, I guess. For example, like Wengi Yongo. So yeah,
you adapt your own style. So using all these different styles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also at some point I was listening a lot to like Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And I I like that.
Talking to Africa and Black History Month, what do you think of being an African? And do you get being an African is rewarding or challenging? How do you express it? How do you?
It's I think that I kind of it's it's a little bit of both, right? It's everything. I am who I am. So it's kind of sometimes there are places or people who will remind you, that who you are, kind of thing. You're maybe not like everybody else, or like a big majority or something like that. That happens too. There are tons of moments when you just you. I think that it's not even noticed, right? Nobody even noticed it, but it's always I don't know. I try to take it positive way, but I definitely lived through at some point when, I lived through a moment when it was really hard to be, it was, it would remind you, that you are black, that kind of thing. But I would say big majority of the time I grew up, like I told you, in Russia, and I grew up among Russian people. I grew up among Africans. I grew up among South Americans. I have a lot of friends from South America, some from India, from Asia, and to just to be presented to all that diversity and seeing it, growing up with it since I was a child, and not just growing up and seeing them from the other side of the street, but growing up being with them, because the sense of being togetherness, for example, was I learned that a lot in the Soviet Union, right? For example, all this, the communism and all that. There's a lot of it is really like about togetherness, being together and doing something together. And the same way, what I experienced again when I was in Russia among the Malagasy people from Madagascar, was you're all away from the country, right, from home. And here we go again, the togetherness, right?
Yeah.
And we were together. And the same thing for the other African people, because we all away from home and we always together. So there was always that togetherness. And I kind of, I learned that. When I came to Canada, it's everything in Canada is about that, like diversity and sharing, everything together kind of thing, and it's amazing. So I would just say,
Do you see a difference in when it comes to racism and color and all problems related with this issue? Do you see any difference when you were in Moscow in the 70s, in the 80s, and today? Is there any progress or any?
It's hard to say, but when I just came to Russia, when I came to Soviet Union, right?
Yeah.
I was a boy, right?
Mm.
And they were not like on TV, for example. You won't see black people and stuff like that. No, because the black people only came from other countries, right?
Yeah.
And there are definitely many people who never saw black people in their life or in real life, right?
Mm.
And a lot of people are curious, but
to know,
to see who are these people and who are they, what are they, it's like, I don't know. I think it's like something, I don't know, but yeah, they were curious to know who are you, what about you and stuff like that, right? Which is, I understand, because even you go to Madagascar, there's some villages, they're never seen any white people, they never seen anyone even from the capital city, right? They only see people from their village, their relatives. I'm talking about small villages, right? When maybe there's like 10 houses or something like that, or maybe 15 houses, and you go. And, it's like a 15 minutes passage. You pass by and you go to wherever you go, right? I've seen those places, and some of them they've never seen white people or any other people from other than Malagasy people, right?
Mm.
So they had curiosity. And the same thing I would say in Russia, they had curiosity, and but the thing is, once they know who you are as a human being, that's it. There's no more barrier. That's something I like about and I appreciate about the Russian people. They're open, very open. They're curious to know who you are. What is this guy? What is it? And I, at the beginning, of course, when I just was a child, it was like, for example, in my school. When I went to my school, in my class, I was the only black person among 30 kids, right?
Mm.
And kids, there are a lot of
Was there bullying, and was there any?
They were bullying. They were bullying, yeah, of course. They were bullying, and but again, at some point I grew up pretty fast too, and my brother was a black belt karate guy. He taught us how to fight and how to defend ourselves. And then that was it. So of course I was a boy, And once he taught us some of this, the kata and all this, then of course the first thing I would do is go to school. Can't wait to go to school to show it to the other kids, right? So once I showed that was it. Finished. I was respected.
Like the shield you have it on your on the wall.
There, yeah.
That looks like an Ethiopian shield. We have the same kind of shield.
Oh yeah,
with a spear. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it protects you.
It is, yeah, and yeah. So once I knew that, and then, but again, like I said, and that was it. So during that time in Russia, in the Soviet Union, during communism was fine. Absolutely nobody. I mean, sometimes on the street, maybe with the people, stuff like that. But once you start talking to them, they know you as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That was it. And that's how I grew up. However, there were times when it was hard. But in terms of racism, it's I think there's always, I don't want to be too pessimistic, but until there is different races, I think there will be racism. I mean, in a smaller rate or a bigger rate, it depends on where you are, right? And who you deal with and stuff like that. But even people from, from everywhere, some people, they are lighter skinned and that's it. They loved. If they're darker skinned, then they're less loved, whatever. That kind of thing. And I think that just happens when, when there is that difference. And I don't know if we can categorize it as a racism or some sort of, I don't know, ignorance or something, when people don't always, I don't know. I can't go on and on and on with this, but it's they are the negative side of things, and there's always the positive side of things, right? So, and it's always it's up to us to choose and to react how we can react. There's always a way you can react and how you can avoid.
Whenever you feel such things, you use your music. You express it through your music.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes when I have the possibility, I do. Usually, I those kind of feelings that outside of my place, right? So, and yeah. So I don't always, carry my guitar and stuff like that. So, but definitely, I kind of. I have it in mind. I have it in mind, but like I say, it's I don't. I try to write more about the positive thing that kind of bring all us together. Who doesn't matter who, black or white, or other. Anyone. It's all about kind of living together.
That's African thing, the Ubuntu. In South Africa, in Zulu, they say Ubuntu, the spirit of togetherness.
Yeah, togetherness.
Okay, can you play us some music that lift our spirit up and that shows togetherness? It could African Unite.
Yeah, you have. I sent you the song, though, no? The song that.
Okay, yes, that's a new song. Your new single.
That's a new song. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you play? What is it about? Can you tell us about your new single?
Yeah, definitely. So this new single was released in January of this year, 2021, and this single is this song, especially Henry. It's about hope. That there's a lot of things happening in our life, a lot of and sometimes you can lose yourself within that messy thing that is happening around us, right? And but there is always the belief, and there's always the hope, right? And there's always the way, the clean way. But you need to just stay focused and wait, and and hope, very important thing. And there's always, among whatever is whatever mess or whatever storm, you will always find that little space where you can go around, and you'll get out to the clear place, to the nicer place and stuff like that. So there is always a hope.
That's great. That's what we need this time, especially this time.
Yeah,
we need that feeling.
That's very true. Yeah, because it's within the mess, it's mess up a lot of people too. Not only being afraid of being sick of the COVID and stuff like that, but that we don't see each other, we don't hold, we don't hug, all that kind of thing. It's at the end of the day, it might affect us.
So you put all these feelings into your music, into your new single, or
it's also interesting because when I recorded this, actually, it was before COVID. But I guess lately I've noticed that there's so many things happening in life and all over the world, and there's a lot of things, and there's definitely a lot of progress, good things, but at the same time there's a lot of like negative things as well, right? Yeah, there's a lot of things that is negative and supported and stuff like that, and I don't know. There's a lot of big list there. I think everybody knows what's going on in the world, so I don't want to be the teacher of.
Let's listen to if you can you a little bit play us from your single with acoustic. Is it okay?
With acoustic, yeah, sure. Mi fa mau fau beyan, andai milatiuzak, zanengambanu atauwe, disulala nave, itakarizava taiverna, memura kelika muraverna, metu disuveizan, aleu miumanaya, misifo, la la na. Masava sima istundasu, Nitakaya now, matukia siminu, anduvau, tundasua sehenu, fasambara now, sifona nifana, te na 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 na. All right, well.
What's the title of the music?
Sehenu.
Sehenu.
Izanengambanu atauwe, disulala nave, betakarizava taiverna, tutakelika muraverna, meti disuveiza, aleu miumanaya, misifon, la la la. Mazava simaitsi tunasu, matukia siminu anduva uvao tunda sua sehenu fasambarana misfona nifana tena na 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 mitakaya now matukia siminu anduva uvao tunda sua sehenu fasambarana misfona nifana tena na 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 na. Ataue disulala nave betsakarezava taiver mitsotra kely kamora verina mety diso veizany aleo miomana ihany misy fô lalana mazava sy mahitsy tondra so mazava sy mahitsy tondra so mitrakayanao matukia siminu anduva uvao tunda sua sehenu fasambarana misfona nifana tena na 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 mitakaya now matukia siminu anduva uvao tunda sua sehenu fasambarana misfona nifana tena na 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 na.
Seheno.
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 What does it mean in English?
Seheno, it's somebody's name.
Okay.
It's a female's name. And it's about a female's name that I met somebody at some point, sometime, that gives a lot of hope and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a deep story, but so that's why I named the song as a Seheno, as a way to, to the clear, to the better place, to the, nicer place, I guess, nice environment or whatever.
Brother, and hopefully we need this, we need hope, we need love, and we need togetherness in this very tough time. And as a musician, as an entertainer, you do that non-stop. You never stop. You are a very strong and productive musician I ever know. So we are very happy to have you in our show.